do your thing, and we're live. So people will start coming in because they do our Mondays very, very well, and I am going to take just a little bit of a break, and I'm going to go grab different headphones. So give me just a moment, and I'm also going to mute myself because things are loud in my house. So hold on.
You got it. Hello and welcome. If you are just tuning in to Spirit Speaks with myself, Mandee Elam, and Crystal, the Mitten medium. She is just grabbing some different headphones because hers were sounding a little wonky, and we want to make sure we have good sound coming for everybody. If you're tuning in, if you're here, please give us a like, a share, a follow, a comment. Let us know that you're tuning in because we're so excited and honored to hold space with you always. Crystal, I feel like you sound better already.
I see these. I hate these things. I really do, because I don't know if anybody else has an issue. I've tried the eye watches. I've tried the Fitbits. I've tried all those things. They really mess with my energy field. I don't know if anybody else has issues with headphones and the weird vibrations and stuff that they let off, but these things make my head really weird. So I try not to use them, but at the same time, their sound quality is awesome. So thank you. Thank you for giving me a memento.
It's much better.
We have one person. Awesome sauce. So we have one person who's watching. What do we want to talk about tonight, Mandee? What do we want to do tonight?
Well, there's a lot. We just, for our kind of theme for Sea Goddess this month is the invisible spark. And we just released a really nice newsletter about it with all of our contributors at Sea Goddess wrote a little piece or shared a video or a poem or something really cool about the invisible spark and what that is. And I wrote an article about how to reignite your invisible spark if you feel like it might be a little dim or need a little TLC or just some revamping. And it really is the light of our soul and how we can tend to it and what needs to happen. Right now, we're moving into spring. We just had a big old full moon that was super powerful. It really kept a lot of people up and active dreams. So we'll talk about that more when people hop on, because I'm sure there's stories out there. So don't let me forget, because Ursula and I taught a class on Sunday. Ursula held an astrology lounge and it was absolutely amazing, but so many people were reporting their wild dreams this past week. So I'm interested to see when our people hop on if they have any and what was coming through strong with all of that. Hi, Janet. Hi, Angela. So excited you guys are here. And the other thing is it's springtime. So we need to talk a little bit about that and what that means. And it's the astrological new year, the witch's new year. It's a new season. There's a lot of magic happening right now. What about you? What do you want to talk about?
So it's really, I'm cool with anything. I'm open to anything and everything. It's so fun because you collaborate with all these wonderful people and you have all these cool things that you're doing on the side. And then you bring it to Mondays and I'm like, yeah, because Crystal's really kind of just cool and with the flow when it comes to a lot of different things. It's been a rough week for me. I did talk about that with you a little bit before we got on. Hello, Tracy. Love you. But other than that, I feel like things are, I'll put it this way, and I know that clients also feel this way. I don't know if you do. Do you ever feel like you get this momentum and things finally start looking up, but then it's it halts and it stops and it's what the crap is going on? And then it's it kind of starts to get a little bit frustrating. And once again, I'm going to say it's a lesson, y'all, because it's a lesson for me. I know when this happens to be patient, to be loving to myself, to do all these things, to take a breath, to, cross T's, dot I's. It's all of those fun things. And I feel like there's been a lot of that happening. So it's it hurries up and then it stops, and then it hurries up and then it stops. And it's just I feel like a yo-yo right now, and I'm a little exhausted and my head is a little swirly. So I'm just kind of trying to let the universe guide me right now where I need to go without getting myself into too much of an uproar about anything, because I'm just in a mode of tired, which I think goes in hand a little bit with the spring and the reawakening and the waking up from all of this winter stuff. And it's funny because I thought a lot about that while I was in California, and I was like, because when you're here in Michigan or Jersey, wherever we're located, and we have those different changes in seasons, you know, we have that dark time. We have that moment where, you know, we hibernate and stuff. And I thought a little bit about this. I was like, okay, so are people who have it warm all year round, are they a little bit more full of serotonin because they don't have that hibernation phase? And, you know, I think that hibernation is important. So how do you go into the hibernation mode while also having this mode? And it's kind of actually brought a lot out in me in the mindset of what can I do, I guess, in the future to still make sure that I'm receiving that hibernation mode and like going deep inside of myself instead of just like being in the serotonin stage all the time and in the sun. And I was like, okay, that's actually pretty important to have that. And now that I'm looking at getting out of that for the first time in my life, I'm like, Crystal, we've got to do something about this because we're still going to need that in our life because it is important to take a rest and take a deep dive in. So, I'm excited about it, and Crystal, I kind of want the serotonin and I want the sun, but it's also important.
That was amazing, and like a lot and so much that we need to all kind of take a look at, because the only thing constant is change, and we want to like encourage ourselves to be in bloom all the time. And really, we can't be. Like, we literally have to sleep. We literally have to release. We have to bring in new. Our cells are constantly creating and bursting and moving and shifting. And we need to as well. And we as women especially have the opportunity to do that every single month, no matter where the heck you live. Even if you aren't bleeding anymore, whether you haven't started yet or something's going on or you've been through menopause or a hysterectomy, you still tune in with the cycles of the moon. Half the month, we are in bloom. We are rocking and rolling. Things are moving. Half the month, it's in time to release, to rest, to reset. And it doesn't matter where in the world you live or what climate you live in. It's so important to honor those cycles of nature. We don't force trees and flowers to bloom all year. Why are we putting that pressure on ourselves?
So I am going to tell you, your computer is on a little bit of like a delay. So I don't know if everybody else has seen that or if it's just me. Let us know, guys.
Yeah,
we try to make this as like smooth as possible. Like, let us know if you're receiving some weirdness on your end too. And I'm going to take a moment to say hello, Janet. Oh, you've already said hello, Angela, Tracy, Alicia, Monica, and Tracy. Mandee, she says, Mandee, you look super pretty. I love that top. Crystal, you've got a glow too. California looks good on you. Thank you. I'm not in California yet. I'm still in Michigan. And Monica says, no lag here. It's only on my end, Mandee, so you're good.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it seems all clear to me, but if you guys have any hiccups, let me know. Thanks, Janet. Janet said no. Tracy, thank you. Yours says, I love this top too. I just got it. It's got gold hearts on it. We love gold and we love hearts. So I'm feeling very springy and it feels nice. Feels nice. I've been able to get out in the sun this week. We've had like really nice weather several days. One day it was like 75. Hi, Kevin. Kevin was there the other day at this amazing event that I was at, and it was beautiful. And there was lots of cannabis healing, and it was a petting zoo and farm that veterans had founded, and there were all these amazing animals and stuff, and it was super beautiful. And I was not expecting like a gorgeous 75-degree day, and it was incredible. So I'm feeling all grateful and lit up, and I did get a little sun-kissed. Crystal, do you want to share a little bit about your trip with all of us? We've missed you.
Well, I mean, like I can. Mandee knows I got a really cool opportunity that I'm not saying anything about quite yet because, once again, sometimes we have to keep some things under wraps. Mm-hmm. But there's a really cool opportunity that happened to me within like 24 hours of me being there. And I was like, okay. So first off, we thanked the angels to high heaven because, you know, they did a lot of really cool work. And I'm now in the midst of like trying to figure that out. I got to visit some really cool places. It was really fun for me to experience things because usually, and I think this is like one of those things that when we're spiritualists or mediums or anybody who talks to spirit at all or interprets spirit, it's really fun to see when we're wrong or when we misinterpret things ourselves because it keeps us humble, and I appreciate that. So when I went there, I got to see these places that I had seen my whole entire life. So we went to Alcatraz, and I thought Alcatraz would be this super creepy, like super like place where spirit was just all over the place. And it really wasn't. To be completely honest, Alcatraz actually was pretty dead, no pun intended. It's a beautiful island. It's kind of went back to nature. And they've got so many amazing things. There's a lot of residual energy that I'll say is there, but that's like anything else. We have residual energy around us. And then we were able to go to the Winchester house, and it was really funny. This one got me a little bit.
I know what Alcatraz is, but I don't know what the Winchester house is. No, I'm like the worst like horror movie kind of person too. I just like Alcatraz because of the rock.
Well, she's not a horror movie person.
Awesome. Okay.
So Sarah Winchester is the she actually ended up inheriting part of the Winchester fortune from her husband who passed away. And so him and his dad, I do believe his dad owned the Winchester gun rifle people. They owned this stuff, and then he passed away, and she ended up inheriting a whole lot of the stock in the guns. Well, she ended up moving from New York to California. Not on a whim, by the way, and I'm not going to say a whole lot. There's a lot of information I received within standing in 5 minutes of this carriage house that's in the middle of the house. But the whole time, like my whole life, I've watched this and I'm like, okay, yeah. So, I mean, like the house isn't really a mystery, but this woman went, and Mandee, you're going to have to look this up after we're done, because you will be like, whoa, this woman built a house, and it is, I can't remember how many square feet, but it is like random mystery, stairs to nowhere. You have doorways that lead to the outside. Like the woman went nuts through other people's perspectives. And this is like this was one of the neatest things for me, because this was one of the Crystal swallows her pride and admits she's wrong. Her whole life, she thought there was nothing there. She thought that it was just a house that this lady kind of went a little bit nutty, because she did experience some trauma. She did experience some tragedy. And I kind of thought that she was led down a path, because the story goes that she received counseling from a medium who told her that she was cursed because she had a death of a child, her husband passed, and so she thought that essentially these ghosts were coming after her, and that's why she did that. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Now, maybe she ran into a crappy medium who did blow some smoke up her ass,
I mean, like, really,
I don't know. Could happen, because
I have a lot of clients who have like medium PTSD that I have to be like, I don't really think you're cursed. Neither do the angels. And let's take a really like big look at all this. And so many people are so afraid of that. So that's a really common thing that's been going on generationally, and it's still going on all the time.
So I'm going to just say this. This is why I love spirit through you. This is why I love spirit through me. This is why I love interpretation. I'm 100% different from how I channel. And spirit is trying to get people to put down the GD books and stop looking at things from the past perspective of how they've been written. Not because they're necessarily wrong, but because they don't exist. Anything that has been manifested into our reality based on religions, based on people's perspectives, based on anything cultural, is manifestation of spirit. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because it is something that was pushed into our thought process by somebody else, that now if we see Slender Man standing in our house, Slender Man's a creepypasta. He doesn't exist. But you know what? In people's houses that think he exists, he's there. I've seen him. It's literally manifestation. And so we have to break down what spirit really is versus what they are. And then all of us can kind of get behind our own gifts. Sorry, that's my soapbox. I'm getting off it and stepping aside. So in the Winchester house, I don't believe in curses, by the way. I believe that people can place curses on us, but I believe that we have to feel like we're cursed. If somebody looks at me and says, Crystal, I curse you, I'm going to be like, all right, cool. I mean, whatever.
I don't believe down to whether or not you believe it.
Mind over matter.
Yep, exactly. Whether or not you believe it.
Right. It's mind over matter.
We'll get to that later, but yes.
Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to be spicy today, but
no, I love it because
from this.
Today's affirmation from Louise Hay is, I do not fix my problems, I fix my thinkings, and then I fix my thinking, and then my problems fix themselves. With a very happy pig and dandelions, which also helps you to fix yourself all the time.
Yes.
So I believe, like Crystal,
did not think
you're
that
cursed, you're going to be cursed.
There's so much I can say. This is why I do what I do, and it'll come out eventually. Like, it'll come out. And I have had a hard time with my own channeling throughout the years because I don't receive spirit the same as any other medium, which actually happened at the Winchester House, which is why I'm talking about this. I'm not just talking. Everything I've ever seen on the Winchester House, you have all these mediums that come in, and please understand, I'm not talking smack. I'm talking through spirit. And all these mediums are like this and this, and you know, she's dealing with the occult, and there's all these 13s everywhere, and you know how people feel about the number 13, like, bleh, okay? I walk in and I am met by the coolest maid a person could ever be met with, and this lady like bestows upon me all this knowledge within a very short period of time. I was so upset because I ended up leaving. We enter into this carriage house type thing, and then you go into this other room where they start to show you like the story of Sarah Winchester, and I knew in that moment I was not going to be able to shut up. I was 100% going to take over this whole entire tour. People were going to like not get what they wanted on the house. It was going to be all through spirit. And I looked at Brenda, this beautiful little lady who was trying to do this thing. I walked up to her and I was like, honey, I got to go. I'm so sorry. I'm going to exit, because if I don't, this is going to turn into something that you guys didn't pay for. And I'm super sorry, but they wanted their experience to be their experience. But I learned a lot. And I'm going to tell you what was given to me and what was given to me after the fact, because I've had 2 dreams this week with Sarah. And it was a really cool experience because, and I'll give you this little tidbit. I had absolutely no clue. I still have no clue. I don't know how I can find this information, to be completely honest with you, but Google is a thing nowadays. I just know that spirit's true and honest, so I don't ever really Google much. I think she was a Mason. If she was a Mason, I'm going to tell you guys right now, and everybody who has anything to do with the Sarah Winchester house, every single thing that she built and why she built it and where she built it makes 100% sense. And that's all I'm going to say, because I will be meeting with the Winchester Mansion people at a later time, and I will be able to have my private investigation with them, and I'm really excited. And I don't want to talk about what was seen or experienced on my end until I give it to them first, because I feel like I owe it to them first before I owe it to anybody else. Because I think she deserves a little bit more respect for the woman that she was. And let's just say, if she was a Mason, that deserves a serious amount of respect, because women aren't really Masons, but women cannot be Masons in today's standards. And so if she had that much respect to be able to be a part of this group of people who generally are men, and I know they have a sect of the Masons that are women, but if she was actually able to be a Mason, it all makes sense. And there was a specific reason she bought the house that she bought, which was an old farmhouse that she built on. That house specifically was researched by her, and there is a specific reason she bought that house. And nobody knows why she picked that land. Why did she buy that land? Everybody thinks it's because of how big it was. It has nothing to do with how big it was. It actually has to do with something metaphysical. And it's an amazing experience that she was able to tell me in my dream. So
that's pretty cool. Hello, everyone. Hi, Carrie. And
I was like, hi,
Kathy and Jennifer. What's up? We're so glad you're here. Crystal was sharing a little bit about her most recent visit to San Francisco and the magic that happened there. Something, though, I wanted to bring up is that with this most recent full moon, dreams were off the hook. So that is a part of what Crystal was sharing, was she got a lot of dream information presented to her. And we're wondering if anybody else had any crazy ass dreams going on over the past week. I know I had a really hard time sleeping with the full moon. The past 2 days were the first 2 days in like over a week that I like got really good sleep and didn't get woken up by the moonlight in the middle of the night and the crazy energies. So yeah, we're just seeing how everybody's feeling, and happy spring, happy equinox here in the spring equinox here in the north. That looks like all kinds of things are starting to bloom, all kinds of seeds we've planted within ourselves and outside. So welcome.
So I have to answer Carrie's question. She says, "Isn't Alcatraz gorgeous? The plants, the view." And Mandee, I have to tell you, I'm not a flower person. I have allergy season all summer. I struggle with allergies, specifically flowers. I hate the smell of flowers, and everybody's like, they think I'm insane because I hate the smell of flowers. The
I'm
cool
allergic
thing
to
about
lilac. They give
California
me
is that
headaches.
it was like the cool thing about California is that succulents grow natural all over the place. I have never smelled a succulent before in my life before I went there. They are the sweetest, most beautiful smelling flowers I have ever experienced. The place literally smells like perfume almost. It's like the most beautiful, calming perfume smell. And so, yes, Carrie, I absolutely loved everything. If I could live in San Francisco, I would live in San Francisco just because, like, the water, the smell from the water in the bay is just like, oh, my heart is so happy in that space. I can't wait to see the sea lions. That's all I've got to say. I felt like I was gypped that time and didn't
I
get
can't
to see
believe
the
you
sea
didn't
lions,
see
but I will.
any. I
We
can't
saw
believe
two, but they were like passed out. Yeah, they were passed. There was only two there, but they were not having anything to do with life. So it was just they were there, but it wasn't the fun sea lions. I want to see them all in their natural talky habitat because that makes my heart happy. I love animals,
Aw,
so
you will.
I know. I'm like super excited. I told Ben I'm gonna have to go back to Pier 39 like every day until I figure it out and see it. And then I want to go whale watching. There's so many cool things that I'm gonna be able to experience that I haven't yet in Michigan. So I'm super excited about things to come. And it's funny because you live by the water and you get to see these amazing things all the time. And I've seen you post. I do believe you sometimes see like dolphins and stuff out in the water, and it's just so cool to see your experiences, and I'm like living vicariously through you, and so being there I'm like, I'm gonna get to have it myself. I'm so happy.
Look at it, lit you up. Like, it's so nice to just change up our energy, go somewhere new and different, feel a different vibe. Where you were at was super high vibe in a lot of ways, and being around all those desert flowers and the ocean air, it really is so soothing and calming and cleansing. And yeah, Jennifer and I actually are manifesting going to see a whale watch soon, because whales are magical and they truly heal this world with their beautiful sound frequencies while they swim through the ocean all the time. And there's so much to learn about them. And many of them are very matriarchal and maternal, and there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from them. So I'm glad you called in the whales, because they've been very prevalent lately. And we've been using it a little bit at Sea Goddess too, as a little bit of a helper as well lately, and a guide.
I had to share this. Sorry, Mandy. Sorry, not sorry. I know you're going to like this comment, other than the fact that I'm so sorry that your dad passed. I am very sorry. But I love the fact that you were able to know that he was being held with peace. That's kind of what this is all about. And I'm very sorry I'm very sorry for your loss. And I'm sorry that happened. And I'm sorry that took place. But I'm also very grateful that it came through prior to give you a little bit of peace prior to his passing. So.
Oh, sending a lot of love.
I'm sorry. I looked down and I saw Jennifer was like, Mandee, you look amazing today. Everybody, Jennifer, she literally looks like she is lit from the inside today. That shirt and her skin, and she is beaming with absolute love. And she does. She just looks like a magical being today. And I absolutely love seeing it. So
that is very
yes,
sweet.
Mandee, you look fantastical.
I will get sun and wear pink more often because I like the effect of this. Thank you.
And then Tracy says, not a crazy dream. I've had super vivid dreams the last few nights, though. Vivid dreams are still crazy sometimes. And it says, but I'm super excited to share with you ladies. I am signed up for a Reiki course this weekend. Congratulations. Congratulations, Tracy. Oh, that makes me so happy for you. I think that that's going to be like a good step for you to start feeling like you're utilizing that energy that's kind of like been inside of you for so long. That's going to make you feel a lot less like congested energetically. So energetically speaking. Mandee, like when I see people who are energetic, it's almost like static electricity for me. But how it feels to us is almost like a beehive or being like a 20-ounce bottle of pop that's being shaken up, but like we can't because like we can't like let things out because our lid is on. And it is the most uncomfortable feeling. So like how do you tell your people to like do stuff with that? Like how do you get them to move through some of that energy? If they don't have a way to channel, I guess I'll say, because some people who are just starting out don't really have a way to channel and they don't really know that they're channeling or have that capability. And so it feels like so much more stagnant and compressed. So like that creates anxiety, it creates depression, it creates all these ups and downs. What do we do for that?
There's a lot of things like, so first of all, like Reiki, I always encourage everyone, if they're interested in it, to kind of start there as a healing tool and technique. And I love it because it's an opportunity to really just tune into the universal life force, into the divine, beautiful, godlike energy that comes through all of us for healing and for love and for growth and compassion and all those great things. And the neat thing about it is it's very meditative. And a lot of people think if they're going to be a Reiki healer and they're going to come in and lay hands on people, it's about like, oh, I'm going to come in and heal their knee or heal their issue or whatever it is. But really, it's about just being completely meditative and allowing spirit and energy to funnel through you without using your thoughts, without having it have, what you were thinking imposed upon it, and allowing yourself to simply be an amazing conduit. And you can use it on yourself. You can use it on others. You can use it on the world, on plants. Like, oh my gosh, like plants that are loved by people who do Reiki on them, they're amazing. So I'm really excited for you, Tracy, that you're stepping into that and you're brave enough to step out of your comfort zone and check it out. And then the other part is, yeah, Crystal, like what happens if we are shaking up like a soda bottle and we can't release? Like we're going to explode eventually, right? So whether you want to or not, we all have to channel our energies. And if we don't do it in a healthy way, then it comes out like we sound like a lunatic or we get all crazy and lose our shit. And then we feel bad about ourselves, and the whole cycle start again and we do all the vices and all the things. So even on our worst days, it's really important that we take inventory of how we're feeling. And if we're feeling that pressure being bottled up, we have to release it physically. So if you got a lot on your heart or mind and you want to talk to someone and no one's answering the phone, write it down, journal it, record yourself talking about it, let it out, speak it that way. If you feel anger or hurt or rage coming up through you, it's important to maybe move that physically. Go for a run, go for a walk, do some yoga, dance, like let yourself be moved by whatever energy is moving through you. Sometimes that means we just need to sit down and cry for a little bit or listen to some music or just allow ourselves to feel held in whatever way that looks like.
Sorry, blocking people. I'm on like not a time to get on here and tell people to get a hold of them for readings. That's not how we do things. So just saying that. just putting that out there. And once again, y'all, you know us, you're here a lot. If for some reason anybody reaches out to you, don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad vibes. But other than that, Mandee said everything awesome and everything right. So it makes me super, super happy.
I know some of those comments were distracting me a little.
So sorry.
But that's the cool thing about this show is we have the power to block. So thanks for tuning in and bye. I like that. Get him, Crystal. Pew,
so
pew.
Tracy also says, I was like, it's like, well, I've had such a problem with that. People keep like messaging people saying they're me. And I'm like, I'm so against messaging people. And we all know that. So just don't do it. Tracy also says we're getting back on track with you guys because that's what this is about. Tracy says, I'm also taking a meditation class every Tuesday. It's a 5-week class and tomorrow is week 4. You ladies and my other girl, Lori, have been a godsend. Thank you. I'm super excited for you, Tracy. Is the meditation? I have a question for you. Do you feel like you know how to meditate better now? Because I remember in the beginning, meditation was like, it's like sometimes we have that ping pong ball in our head and it makes it really, really difficult. So like, have they taught you ways to meditate more for you? And are you feeling a little bit like less of a ping pong ball within yourself? And Heather Harold says, could I ask my sisters on here to send me some love and light? I am trying to make sure that I'm grounded, etc. But having to be my grandpa's person since he passed Sunday has left me struggling for peace. I am so sorry, Heather. Absolutely, we will send that to you. And I will make sure that I say a little piece of something for you after we're done with the show as well and send you a little bit of love. You have had a lot of losses in a very short period of time, my dear.
Yeah.
A lot. There's a lot of doors apparently closing for her. And it's not, I hate to say that, like, I hate this. Once again, I'm a bad medium sometimes. There are no lessons in death in the sense that there are lessons in people passing. But I feel like you just have so many doors that are closing for you almost all at once that it's getting a little overwhelming for you because boom, 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 that's overwhelming. And then on top of that, you've got your own personal changes and personal growths and things that are happening in your own life. And so I am really sorry for you in the struggle because I can see how these things would be extremely overwhelming for you, especially if you're really trying really hard to kind of keep yourself afloat mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually speaking. And then it feels again like poof, we're getting hit again with one more thing. And I do want you to know that, like, please take the time to feel the feelings, my dear, because I have like your people coming through for me right now, angels, and they're making me feel like you're really struggling with dealing with anger. Like you're not allowing yourself to feel anger. They're making me feel like, back in the day, you probably had some spiciness and you probably felt a little bit of anger and stuff because of some of the things that happened in your life and some of the struggles that you carried with you. Anger is not a bad thing to feel. Anger is a justified feeling that we feel in our life, especially when all of these things take place. And they're reminding you that the anger that you're feeling right now is a little bit sacred of an emotion, and to not allow yourself to feel those feelings are going to cause you essentially to do what we're talking about and erupt. And so please allow yourself to feel whatever emotions you are, but also they're separating you from other people. And that means that one, you have beautiful people around you. I don't think they all know what to say or what to do, but at the same time, they're really making me feel like you need a minute right now to digest the things that have happened in your life over the past 6 months, because you've had one thing after another over the past 2 years, but it's like all been compressed. And so please take a minute to yourself, get away from everything, do whatever you need to, breathe, find a rage room if you need to. I don't know, but they're really making me feel like it's been a difficult moment for you to feel your feelings, because I feel like you're kind of numb, which also is a normal experience after the loss of so many people that we love. You have lost a lot of people that you love. And so as these things come to the surface, allow yourself to feel them. And I can't say I'm sorry any more than what I already have, because it's just like no words can express anything in this moment to help you feel better about the things taking place. I'm just really sorry that that's what's going on. And I think Mandee pulled some cards for you. So
I didn't yet, but I'm going to right now, Heather. And also, your angels are coming in and bowing to you. And I'm also just getting a message from them, from your grandfather, just saying thank you. And like, you're a light and you're an anchor, and you're one of the people in your family that's able to kind of hold this shamanic space to see that death is really the other side of a beginning. And even though it's hard and not easy and heavy, you're getting through it with as much grace and love and ease as possible. And your angels are just really proud of you. You have so many ancestors, as you know, on your side. And it's just important that, as Crystal was saying, you let yourself feel everything you need to feel in the moment. And particularly, they're kind of like joking around, but laughter. You're kind of making light of some things and making jokes every now and then, and like, let it happen. So let's just pull a few cards for you too, Heather. All right, you got Get Grounded is your first card. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. When you are feeling like you just can't handle it anymore, do your best to get outside, breathe some fresh air, even if you can just buy yourself some flowers. I'm sure you'll be around a lot of flowers. Perhaps take one and put it on your altar. It's a time to really, when you feel like you're emotions are getting the best of you, or just in general, like Crystal said, even if you're just having a numb day, our hardest days are the days that we need the most to be kind of devoted to ourselves and our medicines. And it's okay to have healthy boundaries and say, okay, you know what? I need a few minutes and I'm going to be, taking an hour to go do this at this time. So do whatever you need to do. If literally go outside, put your hands on a tree, it changes everything and it will help a lot. You also got transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. They're showing, of course, not only are you going through grief right now and change and transition, but you've also been growing a lot within your own soul, and you've been working in all kinds of new different habits and medicines and perspectives. And things are really changing at a deep cellular level. You may have some aches and pains and things going on because you are changing. And they just want you to know that it's okay. It's happening for you. And you're really stepping into the matriarch of your family. You've been there sitting in that energy for a while, but now you're really extra stepping into it. And last but not least, the Council of Light, divine orchestration and helpers in the subtle realm. You have so many angels and ancestors, especially as you know, with your loved ones who recently transitioned, as well as many ancients. And you can call on anyone that you want at this time, Heather. They're saying it's really hard when you're in overwhelm to remember to ask for help, but literally just ask your angels help for everything if you can remember to, and they will, and they'll be there to support you. And they just want you to know that you're so loved. And they're actually showing you had maybe, and you can share it with us if you want or not, it might be just sacred to you, but they're just showing some really spiritual experiences you had with both of your mom and your grandfather, your loved ones passing here. And they just want you to know you're not crazy and that all really happened. And they're just giving you big, big hugs. So we all love you and we care about you. And thank you so much, Heather, for showing up for yourself and being here. Know that you're held.
I love that. Thank you, Mandee. You are wonderful. Carrie says, I am so excited by your excitement, ladies. This is going to help me get through this week. The kids at school have been insane these last few weeks. Now, think about all the things that we as adults are going through, and then remember that these children are too, and a lot of them don't know how to really voice those things. I feel like they are boisterous, but I don't think that they know how to communicate with their actual words and feelings. So it's more just noise. And 4 more days until spring break. And I bet you are just counting it down, Carrie, counting it down. And you do deserve it. And I love Glenda. She says, hey, sorry, I'm late. And Glenda, you probably missed when Mandee said, if you're late, you probably missed when she talked about dreams. Have you had any crazy dreams? Because you are the queen of crazy dreams. And so have you had any crazy dreams over the past, whatever? Monica is sending Heather love. She says, Heather says, thank you, ladies. I lost my mom less than 5 months ago also. Modi Live, sorry, I just did that. It says, evening both, hello. Heather, yes, that's true. Tracy, yes. Lori, who does my light touch healing? Oh, yes, Lori, who does my light touch healing and massage, is hosting the class, and she's done an amazing job explaining and giving tools that I can relate to. Beautiful. I have been super anxious in my sleep the last couple nights. That's the full moon stuff. For whatever reason, but I am able to calm myself, and it just feels amazing, and I can calm myself. I'm feeling super badass lately. That's wonderful that you feel that way, because your anxiety when I met you was like at an all-time high, way the heck up here. And once we start to pull that back down a little bit, that's when the clarity starts to finally come through, and that's when we're able to finally start receiving for ourselves versus receiving for everybody around us. And then it's not so mucky. It's not so swampy for us. And so it's a beautiful thing to finally be able to receive the clarity for yourself. And one, just feel like you're not nuts, feel like you're not insane for the first time in probably years. But also on top of that, be able to finally breathe and feel peaceful. And that's really what learning about gifts is all about, because a lot of people experience those anxieties. They feel those other things. And it's not just anxiety. When spirit's around us, we feel all sorts of things. Like spirit can lay upon us fear, doubts, anxiousness, frustration, everything that they may feel, we can feel as well. And then also we have our team on the other side. And I don't know, man, the higher the vibrations, the higher my vibrations get as well when they're around me. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to attune myself a little bit better, and I have to lower my vibrations too. And so I am so proud of you. You have done so much work in such a short period of time, and I cannot wait till you're able to finally step outside of your comfort zone and start to tell your story the way that you want to, what you're working towards, because that's what your goal is. It's to be able to tell your story, but also to be able to help other people who have experienced life the same way you have. So congratulations to you, and I am so proud of you. It's not easy work. It's really not. It's just confusing, and it's all over the place sometimes. Give yourself some serious love, my dear.
That's
Jennifer
like
says that
serious
she's
work.
sending
Learning how
extra
to
hugs and
control your
love.
Oh, sorry, I talked over you. That's like serious work.
No, you're fine.
Anxiety. I'm bowing too, because that's the real work, and it takes real consciousness, and it's not easy for any of us. So I'm just extra giving you loves, Tracy, and I know that so many other people on this live work really hard on that.
Yeah, it's so daily, and it's so fun because it's not easy, Mandee. I always put Mandee in this place that Crystal is not. I got to tell you. And I know Mandee's like, it's not me, girl. It's not me. She does not claim to hold that power or hold that space, but I see her as this
Even
like
close.
queen goddess that I strive to be. So it's like, I see her and I'm like, Crystal's a hot mess express some days. And I really struggle also myself with those moments of like feeling sanity. Yesterday, I had such a bad depression day. Like, it was such a bad depression day. I had to peel myself off from the couch and do like clean my house really well and do a house cleansing and all of the things, because one, depression is not me. Yes, we're all depressed on some level, but that deep of a depression is not me. And it feels so much like us when it happens that it's really hard sometimes to take and peel that layer away and remember that that's not really our personality traits. And so that's why it's so important to get to know who we are as humans, internally, externally, like all of our dark, shadowy selves. Because when we go through those modes and when we start to peel away those layers and finally get to know who we are, then in those moments that we've experienced before and didn't know how to get out of, then in those moments we know how to pick ourselves back up. And that's really what this is about, is picking yourselves back up, but also helping other people learn how to do the same thing. And that's why it takes a freaking village. And we're all essentially the children. So I congratulate anybody who goes through the steps and the motions, because it's not easy and it never stops. If you're here living on earth, then that means you're not done doing the work. And that's kind of the kicker. A lot of people think it's going to be one and done and like, oh, once I have this figured out, yeah, I'll sit back and watch that happen, because if you can figure out how it to be one and done, I will take the class. I will give you all of the money so I don't have to keep reliving things, because it's not that way. It's a walk, it's a path, it's a journey. And it's a beautiful journey, but it's a frustrating journey sometimes too. And so I commend you all. You all have done such amazing work. I know Mandee sees it. I see it. You guys are fantastic in all levels. And I'm grateful to be able to hold space with you guys, because you kind of keep me humble and keep me where I'm going, and you make me show up every Monday. So just know you do it for me too.
Motivation Monday. Medium Midge. Yes.
It's Glenda says she did. So Glenda, if you want to share one of your crazy dreams, go right ahead. Monica says, blessings to you both. Hearing you too allows me to feel like I can breathe deeply. Awesome. Breathing deeply is a beautiful blessing to be able to do, because sometimes we forget to do that also. And Glenda says, of course I have. Jennifer says, there we go. I don't have a dream to share, but I will share a magical moment I got to share with my daughter. I have a deck of tarot cards that I simply adore. My daughter is drawn to this one deck more than my others. Sorry, talking. When I caught her playing with them, I just asked her to take care of them like I do, because they are special. I was bebopping between kids and I heard her talking. I go back and ask her who she's talking to, and she said she was playing with my she was playing Holy Pete cards with Pop Pete, my dad, who passed a few, and I can't see the other part of that, but I'm gonna say that it was probably somebody who passed a few years ago, a few months ago, something along those lines. And that is wonderful. I love that.
That is super magical.
I was gonna say, I love that, because I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot that happens when we open the doors to helping ourselves understand things, and then we see our children also take and understand themselves in different ways. And I think just in that, it's a pretty magical thing. I know when my son has fought his whole life trying not to be me, like absolutely tried like hell not to be the crazy person. He wants to be analytical and science and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, his mom is not that person. And over the past year and a half to 2 years, he has gotten tarot cards. He has gotten into crystals. He now has a totem sitting on top of his dresser that he uses for his protection and love and all these other things. And he's really good at it. He's really good at tarot. And to see him kind of open that door and ignite something inside of himself, I absolutely love. But I've also seen him kind of go down the tubes in college because he's not able to experience those things, and he's kind of stunting his growth in college. And so he's also dealing with a lot of things right now. And so it's a magical thing to be able to teach our kids, our loved ones, and other people around us that it's okay to open up to us, ourselves, spirit, God, whatever you call it, flying spaghetti monster. I don't care what it is. But it's a magical thing to be able to open up, because then we feel connected with something other than ourselves, and it does help guide us. And I think that's beautiful from such an early age to see your daughter playing with something so magical. I think it's great, and I love it. It makes my heart happy. I'm so sorry. My phone is being weird, Mandee. I'm trying to read messages, but it's like it keeps freezing and it won't allow me to it's like not allowing me to move things the way I need to. So
I can read the next one.
Okay, go ahead, because we're on. Okay.
I got you, girl. Glenda said, I had a dream where I drove up to a huge car accident. Cars, lots of cars. I had a small child with me. I could hear the ones injured. I saw one bad image, and I told the child not to look back. And we called 911, and I assured the paramedics that they needed more, ... So, oh, that's an intense one, Glenda. A lot of times, things like that, I'm like, a lot of my dreams are all about like rescuing things. Like I show up at crazy accidents. I'm rappelling off mountains and ships, like interesting things like that. But it's pretty cool that you were able to be like the calm one on the side of the chaos and like witness it and like protect the child and then like assure, and like report back. So I wonder if there's anything. Oh, wait. I think she added more. Normally, I would have just jumped into action, but I didn't. The moans were weird, and I had to protect the child from seeing and hearing something they didn't need to see. Any thoughts? You have anything else on it, Crystal?
So, one, I think you are the person who is the onlooker in situations. I think you are the calm to the storm, and I think that that's part of your gifts that you have naturally as a human being. I am going to say there could be a couple meanings here. I'm just going to do a shot in the dark type scenario here, okay? And the only reason I'm going to say this is because I don't really feel anything specifically behind this dream, so to speak, when it comes to that exactly, okay? So you could have been interpreting something that has already taken place. I don't know in your area if there was an accident or was something that did take place, that did happen, where something similar actually took place and you were kind of seen from above, because I do feel like this was an actual spiritually led dream. And I'm going to say it that way because I'm picking up on it being more spiritually led in that situation. But I also think that it's kind of filling in the spaces that, or the gaps, I guess, in how you feel about yourself more than it means something in a bigger term. I don't feel like this is like a death scene that's going to take place that you're walking upon. I don't think that at all. I do feel as though spirit is kind of trying to teach you that even though these things cause you a little bit of fear and cause you a little bit of chaos and angst in your life, which has probably caused you to step away from your gifts a lot in the past, because you don't want to experience these things. Nobody wants to experience that. It's really hard at first. When we view it with our own ego and our person ego, like our human ego, those things are really difficult to experience. But when we set in the space a little bit more and we observe a little bit more from an above situation and are the calm to those things and can delegate a little bit, it's not as chaotic. You also are somebody who's always dealt well with very chaotic situation. So let's say that there's somebody having a heart attack in a restaurant. Whether or not you are medically trained or not, I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to step up, you're going to take action, you're going to know exactly what needs to be done step for step, and you're going to look at people and you're going to delegate what needs to be done next. Why? Because you're being led by spirit. And so I think what they're doing is they're trying to give you the courage to let yourself be led by spirit right now. Because I feel like part of you is still holding yourself back and not really opening that door to all of the gifts that lie inside of you out of fear in receiving something that you might not want to receive. And so I feel like what they're doing is they're more so reminding you that no matter what the scene, no matter what the chaos, no matter what the circumstance, they're always going to be there to help guide you, lead you, and give you the right information, validation in that moment, not fear the situation itself, even though the situation can be very terrifying.
Glenda said spot on.
Sorry. Not sorry. Yeah.
Spot on. Exactly. And so, you know, those dreams can be weird, but try just to observe, even if it is something scary. It's so important to wake back up and realize, okay, that was just a message. That was just a weird ass dream. That's not a reality right now. Even if, you know, we woke up in a panic or a sweat or whatever, there's still opportunities to breathe, to come back into our 0 point, to zoom out and look at the bigger perspective about what this thing was trying to show or teach you. And then Carrie also said, yes, Crystal, you are exactly right. I think she's talking about the kids. They really don't know how to express themselves. I feel that some of their parents talk about things in front of them that they really don't understand. And they don't always ask for clarification, so they carry heavy stuff. I've been asking the angels for help, and I just feel so overwhelmed and frustrated. That's a rough one, Carrie. That's not easy. I can remember being a kid and trying to like make sense of things that my parents were talking about. And right now, you know, there's a whole lot to be talked about. There always is. And what you can do is just simply hold the space and answer the questions the best that you can, and maybe teach kids how to release some heavier stuff. One of my favorite like yoga poses and things that you can do is you stand straight up and you swing from side to side, and you let your hands kind of hit your legs and your butt a little bit, and you just keep going. And it's called knocking on heaven's door. And if you just stand there and let it keep happening for a while, it helps like to release all kinds of energies and thoughts and things that are keeping us stagnant. That's another really great one to do to release stress and tension for adults too. But it just might help the kids to feel a little bit held and seen and heard right now, and help them to connect with their own bodies and their own spirits and learn how to release a little bit. So we're sending you a whole lot of love. And then Tracy said,
I could not do her job.
Huh?
I said I could not do her job. I commend her so much for the job that she does. I could not do that job. People like you are so needed, Carrie. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It's true. We are bowing to you, and we are grateful to have you on the front lines. I consider that a frontline job for sure. Tracy said, I am literally crying, but a good cry. I'm proud of me too. It's been a long time since I've been proud of myself. Hell, I don't know if I've ever been. Tracy, that's huge, sister. But I'm making up for all the times that I should have been. I love you, ladies. I truly appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Way to go, sister. That is an incredible feeling of being proud. And unfortunately, in our society, through our religions and schools and cultures and different things, we're taught that pride should be shameful. But pride, there is a really magical, nice, beautiful self-love and self-recognition thing to that, especially when you find yourself releasing old patterns that aren't serving you anymore. And the way you're showing up for yourself is proving that to you. So it's got to feel amazing, and you deserve to. And then Mo said,
you made me teary-eyed, Tracy.
Oh, you got Crystal's feels and heart chakra.
You did.
I love that.
It's so big.
Jennifer said, if you aren't sure what the 2 of Cups represents, please look it up. Oh, my dad gave the 2 of Cups. Oh, how lovely. That is a beautiful message.
I'm going to have to Google, because I do not know what the 2 of Cups is.
Queen points for me it can represent the Lover's card a lot, and being held, but it's also like a really nice, beautiful starting point of being balanced and feeling like your love is like taking a new step in direction, and wonderful things are happening at this time. And then for her daughter to pull it, it just shows that it really is, someone who's truly loved in their family and held, and showing that, her ancestors who were lovers are showing up and being there to support. So I think that's incredible. And then Janet said, mine was about taking a plunger to dirt outside and pulling up coins. Really strange. That's cool and strange.
Oh, Rocky. Oh, good Lord. This dog, I swear. He is like, he cannot handle life without people. And I got to tell you all, every time you're here, he's here too. And he cannot handle life without you guys. So I just want you to know that. I'm sorry. He's trying to climb everywhere with me. But the plunger right and I love that, because I'm going to say that that's actually a fair representation of things coming into your life. That sounds to me, not necessarily money wise, but I do think that that's actually you being able to finally receive some of those beautiful moments in your life that you've been trying to manifest for far too long. So I do think that there's probably money coming into your life based on how it's being presented to me, not necessarily like winning the lottery, but anything is awesome. And so they are making me feel like you are probably going to get a little bit more income, a little bit check comes from nowhere that you didn't know you were receiving. I do think that that's something, but I also feel like this is like the start of closing a door to the bad nonsense from the past, because they're really making me feel like that was more of like a premonition dream for you, that all of your hard work is coming to fruition. And so please give yourself a little bit of patience and love, because even though it feels like it's taking forever, I do believe it's coming. It's right around the corner. So just be prepared and allow them to give it to you when it's time to receive it. That's one of the hardest things we have. Like, we wait for it. But then when it comes, we're like not looking for it. We don't know what to look for. So just make sure that you're willing to receive it when it finally gets on your doorstep.
And look under the surface a little bit, because there's abundant things all around right now. Michelle, hello, Michelle.
Yes.
Michelle said, hello, ladies. I'm sorry I came in late. I have a question for Crystal. My daughter and I have sent messages on your website. She sent one about a month ago. Oh. Yeah, and me a week ago. I know you're incredibly busy, but just wondering if that's how we're supposed to reach out to you. Thank you.
Yes, and that's very strange, because I just recently went through all of my emails. So it's very strange. I will look in my spam, but at the same time, send another one. I am going to say that I don't know if you have Yahoo, I don't know if you have Gmail. Sometimes they fight each other and they don't come through, especially through my website. So yeah, I would, if I don't answer you back, I would just, I don't know what's going on. It is getting a little difficult for me right now, because my life is in limbo. So when I'm answering people, I'm kind of trying to schedule them out a little bit. So, but just be aware that when I do schedule you, because I'm moving over the next couple months and I don't know what's happening. So just be aware that I may have to schedule you in like May or June. Please be patient with me also, but I didn't get your emails and I'm sorry. I'll look through my spam for you. And yes, I will answer you. And I'm pretty sure we've talked before. So I hate that. I'm so sorry. I'm writing you down.
You are so acknowledged, Michelle, and we will figure it out. And these things happen sometimes, it is what it is sometimes. Glenda said, yes, I need a healing laugh out loud. Isabel says, hi, I hope everyone's doing good. Heather says, hi to Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Jennifer says, no sorries. Isabel says she's been losing her faith in people lately. Sad face. It's easy to lose faith in people sometimes, huh?
It really is. I finally watched the Mr. Rogers movie yesterday. I cried like a baby throughout the whole thing. It was like I did. I cried like a baby throughout the whole thing. And it's because he was such a cool guy. Like, I'm sure he had his own stuff that he had to deal with and blah, blah, blah. But he really wanted people to like find faith in people and be able to forgive and move forward with a lot of different things. It was a really good movie and it was a great perspective. But when you've had a lot of things happen in your life around you and you haven't really been able to be loved for who you are and received for who you are, it kind of gets a little bit of stagnant for us, and it makes us feel like we're frustrated. We're very frustrated sometimes with those things. And I don't know you, Isabel, but they're really making me feel like there have been a lot of times in your life where you've kind of bent over backwards for everybody around you, and it's kind of not gotten you where you thought you would be at this moment in time. And I am going to tell you, like, you probably won't want to hear this. I'm not going to read you because you didn't really ask for that, but I am going to say that they're really making me feel as though right now is a moment of boundaries for you, because I do believe that based on how they're presenting this to me is I think that there need to be different conversations in your life when it comes to you and other people around you. And this can be relationships with friends, family, anybody. But they're really making me feel like you don't know how to speak what you want very well to other people. And that also comes from being a gifted person that like, we feel scared to say these things because sometimes as an empath, what we feel is other people's objection to what we're bringing to the table, and we're picking up on what they're laying down. And then it kind of makes it this thing where we kind of box ourselves in and we just don't want to say anything sometimes. And you have a beautiful voice. They're really making me feel like you have a much bigger, beautiful voice than what you seem to think you do. And that voice is important. And they really want you to know that, because they're also making me feel like you haven't been empowered to feel like your voice is important. It is. And you have a lot to lay on the table of life. Don't feel like right now is the end all be all for you, because they're really making me feel like you've condensed yourself into a very small space. Please be seen, be heard. Be out there. Do not ever fear being the loud person. Do not ever fear being the person who everybody looks at when you walk into a room. That's a sign of somebody with a great, big, beautiful energy that meets people before they even enter into the space physically. And that means you have a whole lot to offer on this place we call Earth. And know that you're loved. You do have a lot of love surrounding you, even though I don't think that you can see that right now in some of the situations that are currently taking place. And there are a lot of transitions, but please just know in the future, like, you got a lot changing. And if you ever want anything, then it is what it is. I don't want to like lay anything upon you without you asking, but at the same time, oh, she did say messages were good. She did say message. Okay. So I can talk freely and I don't have to hold back. So they're really making me feel like there are some serious transitions taking place in your life right now, but they're internal transitions. These aren't external transitions. You have a lot of people who do love you. However, sometimes the people around us that love us don't know how to love us the way that we need to be loved. Okay. As empaths, we generally know how to love people the way they need to be loved, because gosh darn it, we feel it all. We know it all. We understand it all when it comes to the love center of who we are. But that makes it very frustrating, because 9 times out of 10 people don't give us that same energy back for whatever reason. It's not necessarily their fault. They're not doing it on purpose. Some people just don't want to open up. And they're really making me feel like you're very frustrated right now with a lot of things taking place in your life, because I feel like you're talking to a lot of brick walls. You're speaking to a lot of people. You're trying really hard to communicate, but it feels like everything that you're saying is kind of coming upon deaf ears. And they really want you to know that now is the time kind of to step into your own power, step into your own space, grow, be that person. Don't be afraid to be who you are and ask for what you want in life. We all have the right to get what we want in our lives the way we see fit. And sometimes that means that there are relationships that do need to come to a close, unfortunately. But on the opposite end of that door that does get shut, there will be better things that get brought to us. And I'm going to let Mandee take over, because I see her shuffling cards.
Well, that was beautiful too. And Isabel, just know you're held right now. And I was talking to a client the other day, and sometimes people are too overwhelming. We're all in our own wild ass journeys, in our own crazy vortexes. And sometimes other people's vortex, no matter how much you love them or no matter what they're doing, it can be too much. And it's important to call back. And as Crystal was saying, to have healthy boundaries. The other things that your angels want you to know is, number one, you pulled the ever unfolding rose. Cracked open. This is happening for you, not to you. Know that all the things that are going on right now and making you lose a little bit of faith, it's happening for you. The way it's happening for you is to point you back into yourself at this time in order to go within, to find out where your boundaries have been being crossed, where you're maybe spending too much time thinking about things. It's really hard right now. You know, we have a crazy situation going on in the world that is requiring a lot of attention at this time. And it's hard not to focus on that, let alone all the crazy things that are in our own lives. And they just want you to know that this is happening for you so that you can get a little bit closer on your own self-love and your own boundaries. The other thing they want you to do is you pull the dance card, do something to shift your vibration. When it's too people-y and they're letting you down, cut them off for a little bit. Stay in your own realm. Maybe dance in your room to a new song or something. Dive into a new book. Go for a nature walk. Do something to disconnect from people for a while if you're losing faith in them. And then what'll happen is as you just attach a little bit, something will happen, something beautiful and magical and synchronistic that helps you to maybe get your spark back, your faith back a little bit. But just know that faith is trust. It's about just taking a breath and letting ourselves trust again. Carrie also.
So I'm gonna like.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, so like when it comes to this, I had somebody tell me something one time, and she was like, you have to have an island, a dinghy, and a yacht. Okay. The yacht is where you stay. The yacht is what you create with your space. It is beautiful, it's magical, it's everything we've ever wanted our yacht to be. Okay, that yacht is in the middle of the ocean. We allow people into our yacht. So we can pull them from the dinghy. They can stay over there. They can be in the dinghy. We can pull them in. And sometimes it can be your husband. Sometimes it can be your kids. You don't have to let them on your yacht all the time. When you feel safe to let them on that yacht, you allow them into the dinghy, and then you allow them in, and you allow them into your space. And to the other people, keep them on the island. Don't let them into the dinghy. You know, you get to decide these things with yourself, and it's okay for you to kind of separate those spaces, because that's what boundaries are. And it doesn't mean that you're cutting anybody off completely. It doesn't mean that you're shutting and locking doors. It literally just means right now I can't with you because we're not being met in the same place, and I need to kind of hone in on myself, my needs, my wants, my desires, my boundaries, and what I feel comfortable with before I can have these conversations with you, because they're just not being met with the same love that I need right now. And so I'm taking space for me. It has really nothing to do with anybody else. It means we have to be where we need to be. So kind of adapt to those moments, like Mandee said, and give yourself a yacht. Like get yourself on somewhere else where you don't have to deal with the nonsense of others, and allow yourself to really refill yourself right now.
Oh, I think that's beautiful. Rocky's toy kind of sounds like a ferret or something.
I am so sorry. He is going insane.
It's okay. It's just funny. It's just Crystal's dog playing with the toy. I'm going to keep going through some of these comments since we're getting close to wrapping up here. Carrie said, yes, thank you. I love that. I think I used to do that, Mandee. So what we're talking about was with Carrie, she's a teacher. We were talking about working with her kids doing an exercise called knocking on heaven's door, where you swing side to side and let your hands just get really heavy and kind of hit your sides and your butt and your thighs and all those things. And it helps us to release energy. And Carrie was saying that she used to do it, not realizing it was for a reason. It's just so hard. The kids are so mean and disrespectful. I just keep showing up and loving them, and I will be more specific when asking the universe to put me where I'm needed. Right, Crystal? The other thing is, too, Carrie, you're an authority in that room, and you can do that in a really loving way. And you can literally just be like, they're just showing, like, talk to your kids like they are people, and just be like, guys, like, that is just not cool. It's not okay. And when you really just level like that, like, you are really respected. So just know that, and don't be afraid to bring out that like divine feminine authority. Glenda and Heather say that they love Rocky. And then, oops, I lost my spot. I'm going back. I kind of went back up. Oh, we love Rocky. Tracy said, happy tears, Crystal. I was meant to meet you, and I thank God every day for that blessing. I wouldn't be where I am without you, and I can't thank you enough. Janet says, Lord, I hope so. Thank you, Crystal. Carrie said, right. She's amazing. Tracy said, Mandee, I got a bug up my ass today and got so much work done, and I'm mailing your sweatshirt tomorrow. So we will have matching Midge and Mandy sweatshirt soon, and I'm pretty excited about that. Michelle said, okay, I'll send another one. And she said that she also texted you. So we'll take a look at what's going on there. Maybe send Michelle a direct message, after this, which will work out. And we sent Isabel some messages in love. Tracy said that Carrie, she helped me more in the short time that I've known her than any therapist was able to do for me since I was 19, and I'm 44 now. And I can vouch for Crystal and myself. We get a lot of comments like that people who have been on the therapy journey, we are no replacement for that. However, we can be a really big support because we bring in that spirit element that isn't really necessarily seen or heard that much. And we're able to help connect dots and put things together. So thanks for trusting us and trusting Crystal and spending some time with that. Michelle also said, thank you, no problem. Yes, we have both talked to you and we love you. So you guys will get that all straightened out. And then
I'm going to say, Michelle, text me again. Text me again, Michelle, because if you texted me, I don't know. It literally could have been one of the times where I was in between, whatever. I have absolutely no clue. Could just be spirit saying you don't need me right now. I don't know. But at the same time, text me again. If you have my number, I'll do it that way.
And Cash
Go
is
on,
here.
Mandy,
Cash is our drum circle leader at Sea Goddess Healing Arts. He's an incredible musician. He hosts and has the Kind Magma channel. And he said, Mandy is the light. Bowing to you, brother. I appreciate that. Tracy's got to run. She's got to get the baby girl to volleyball game. Jennifer said, had a lovely week. And then, and Isabel. Oh, hello, Tiffany. Isabel also confirmed, she said, I had a toxic relationship for 19 years and I've been healing for 4 years now, but boundaries I still find hard. I find it hard being around a lot of people and it drains me lately. I absolutely love being around nature and animals. Just trust that right now, sister. Like, you are assimilating to new. You've been working really hard on all these new things in your life, and boundaries are not easy. I've been sharing a lot lately. I've been struggling with my bedtime. I really need to go to bed a lot earlier. And I will push and, have a little bit of FOMO sometimes, or want to collaborate with a lot of my awesome Sea Goddess team and everything. But I can't stay up late like that anymore. Or I never could before. I was always kind of a go to bed with the sun and get up with the sun when I was younger. And then I changed that with work, with jobs, with careers, with all the things. And now my body's calling for it again. And when I have healthier boundaries with myself with bedtime, I feel so much better. So it can start with something really simple and little that doesn't even have to do with people. And I'm just kind of skimming through some of these. You guys are awesome. I love all of these talks you're all having with yourself. Carrie said, that's exactly what I do, Mandy. I am their reality check. Hell yeah, you are, sister. Glenda said, Mandy and Midge are my jam. I love you both. Kathy said, I'm excited for my mama to talk with you on Wednesday, Crystal. And Cash said, I'm loving this as I'm making dinner. Cash loves to cook too. And I hope you're making something wonderful for yourself and nourishing. And Jennifer said, welcome, Cash. It will be your Monday jam. He, he, he. Yes, we have this magical little container on Mondays with this beautiful group of people who Crystal and I are so lucky to work with one-on-one, many of you. And then some of you are kind of new to us and all the things that we do and bring. If it's your first time here, please give us a like, a share, a follow on Crystal's page, which is Spirit Speaks, Mitten Medium. And I am under Sea Goddess Healing Arts. And we're just so grateful that you're here. Yeah.
I am so sorry. Rocky? Like, my dog is going insane.
Okay. We love dogs.
I feel like Rocky needs his own show. I feel like I just need like one of those Ring cameras in my house so people can watch Rocky do his thing 24/7, because he's that amped up all the time, especially when he's like done giving away mom's time. So I love you guys. And I thank you so very much for jamming with us this Monday. I do have to go. I am got to take my son and his friend back to where they need to be today. So, and I think I just got her text. So Michelle, if that is you, I think I got it. So I will be answering you back. Okay. Mandy, where can people find you? And does Sea Goddess Healing Arts have any cool jam sessions happening, classes, anything like that right now?
So, yes, thank you for following us and hanging with us. If you're just tuning in, our recaps from tonight are it's spring season. Welcome. You might feel like shit because even a seed has to break apart before it can grow. And there's a lot of growth happening right now. And we had some very active dream spaces. And if there's one thing to take a look at this week, hi, Rocky, it is maybe your boundaries and how you can be a little bit more devoted to yourself and have some boundaries that are going to better serve you. So the way you can follow me or reach out is check out SeaGoddessHealingArts.com. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and then we do have some fun things coming up. Ursula, who's our goddess of operations, we call her our goo. She keeps everything together. She and I are going to be going on a little road trip this week to visit some other sea goddesses. So we will be keeping you guys a little updated and share where we're at. We have some new online classes that are coming that are going to be released soon. And we have a spring arts festival or a spring festival coming up at the Obsequion Lighthouse in New Jersey on May 7th. It's a Saturday. So lots of fun things coming. Rocky, you're stealing the show. Rocky, how can
I swear, if he wasn't so spicy in his life, like he would be such a good dog for healing and all that other stuff. But he is too spicy for people. He barks and growls and is like, but he's so loved. Thank you guys very, very much. And I hope you connect with Mandee and all of her wonderful people that are creating some magical things, because they offer so many classes. They host so many amazing things, and they give so much divine love to every single person. And if you have not yet checked out their website, please do, because they're awesome. And I thank you guys so very much. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you for jamming with us this Monday.
Bye-bye.
I have to let you go because Rocky says bye.